Welcome everyone, it's Angela. Lovely to have you join me again today. I have got another little contribution to make to the journal jigsaw collaboration, which is hosted by RachandBella, as you probably well know by now. I hope you're all enjoying it. I've had the most wonderful time working on projects that all the collaborators have put together, so I've selected a couple as I've had time. And the good news is that even if you are busy, because it's on YouTube, you can go and follow along at any point. Now, I have been given a prompt today called Lovely Labels and Quotes, and I will be doing the bright and shabby version of that today, where there are two themes or styles. And Yvonne Preston will be doing the rustic and grungy. So do remember to pop over to her channel and see what she is going to share with you today. All right, so so lovely labels and quotes. What can I tell you about that? Just one more thing before I get into it is don't forget to like, subscribe and comment on everybody's videos if you would like to be in line for an opportunity to win one of the most fantastic list of prizes that are on offer from the collaborators taking part. All right, Rach will do that after the collaboration has completed, and she will draw out possibly your name. All right, there are lots of wonderful things from digitals, bundles, just lots of projects and giveaways, all sorts of things going on there, journals, the lot. All right, so please don't forget to do that. Like, subscribe and comment on everybody's video as part of this collaboration. To find that, just put in Journal Jigsaw or go to the playlist or the link tree. Playlist in Rachel's YouTube channel or the link tree, which all of us have got, and you will find who's doing what and you're able to follow along with everybody taking part. Okay, it's from the 15th of March to the 15th of April. All right, we're in the second half of this. Right, enough jabbering, I'll get on with it. Right, so as I said, lovely labels and quotes, and I've got some details for you. It's a lot of show and tell and a bit of work, so I hope this is going to be inspiring. Now, I love a label and a sentiment or a quote or some kind of wording in my journals. I just feel it sort of finishes it off, and to me, it's all in the little details. Now, with this garden story kit, I did put this sheet together as part of the quotes or sentiments for this journal project, and but of course you can buy them, you can make them yourself, you know, they are, and we're going to go through some of those things today. Now for me, I love to add them to my kit. I like my stuff to be themed. But you don't have to go and buy sentiments, and I'm going to show you. Now, this is the page as it comes in the kit. You can also, if you are buying sentiments, print those in different sizes. So here I've got a full size, and if you want them smaller, which who doesn't love a mini anything, then you've got them half the size. So that's effectively 2 to a page. All right, so that's the one way you can do it. And that goes with labels as well. You can buy those ready-made or on digital. You can buy them at shops, or of course you can make your own. So we're going to have a look at some of the making our own today. All right, so that's that. The other one I like to do is, and if you're making your own, is use your computer or your typewriter if you have one. So I'm lucky, I've got a 1947 very old antique typewriter. And this is a digital that I put together. This is it printed straight out, but if you want it a little bit different, you can actually print this onto tea stain paper or any other paper as well. All right, so this is just using my really old typewriter for a little different sentiment effect. All right, so quotes. So those are just some of the details you can use for this. I'm going to put those to the side over there. Right, the other thing you can do is use stamps. So stamps are a really handy way to make your own little words, quotes, or labels. So we're going to have a look at that today. Now, everybody's different. I am not big on mixed media. I dabble in it, so I'm not a guru on it, but I don't want to spend piles of money on different kinds of inks because I I tend to use what I have. So when I've decided on a journal project like the garden story that we're doing, I tend to go and gather the goods that I have. And my go-to is these. All right, so I don't go and buy all the different pigment inks and whatever. I use these, and I find that these work well for me. Sorry, that's my dog in the background making herself heard. All right, so I tend to go and find the colors that are going to match with what I'm doing, and in this case, these are them. Abby, it's not your turn. All right, so these are the colors that I will use for my stenciling, but also use them for my stamping. All right, and I'm going to show you what I do for that. When you make your own stamps and your own labels and quotes for a specific journal that you might have a specific theme for, you are able to match what you want. It's not always when you buy something that is the case. All right, so that's it. So those are the ones that I use, and I use them for everything. I don't go and buy separate ones for stamping, and I do like stamping. All right, now I've got a couple of things I've put together, some of the things that I like to do, and I'm going to just share those with you. Now, the first thing I do when I'm going to stamp words or quotes is I save a lot of my scraps. So I'm just going to grab this paper here. So, for example, paper scraps. These are things that I don't throw away, and a lot of it are strips. Right, so for example, I have trimmed down my Edith Holden. This is just a piece that was left. It would be longer. And this old paper is great for stamping on words. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Here's another piece. Here's another book page. And I just love the old paper. It's nice and thick, and it's got great texture. So all these strips that I trim off my book pages, I keep. If I'm trimming off my tea stain paper, I keep those as well. So that's tea stain paper. Here's another book strip. All right. I've also got bits like this. This is a piece of, these are pieces of, what do you call it, ephemera. This is French ephemera. I had strips cut off. I'll show you what I do with those. So go and hang on to these bits. I just tend to gather them and then just put a clip, a bull clip on them, and that keeps them together. So these are great for stamping on. And depending on what your book pages look like, I know with Edith Holden you get varying colors of browning, or is it tanning, I think, that you can use. So yeah, never go without the scraps. The scraps are inspiring. Here's some book page scraps, and I'm going to show you what I do with this in a minute. All right, so for example, my favorite thing that I have, and it's in my jam jar, are these little, what are they called? Because I never remember. These are called Contact Clickable Stamp Set. They're on my Amazon favorite list. I've had this for years, and I've shown it many times. Now, the good thing about this is they clip together. So if you're wanting to do something like flower or whatever, I'm not going to go and look for it. These clip together. So these bits all clip together, and you are able, I'm just putting any bits together, then stamp. On here, I tend to, when I'm stamping, I tend to go, well, that's not a great one for it. Let's just take one of these and give you an idea. I tend to put, the ink onto the stamp rather than the stamp onto the ink. All right, because you don't want it to go in between the circles, etc., and flood them. So once you do that, you can just put it down on there, and there you've got a word. All right, so these are really handy, and I use these often. So yeah, it's good. I would say it's good to invest in a couple of things. I don't have piles of stamps and things, but I do have some that are versatile. So for example, here are some of the words that I've cut out using those contact stamps, and these are all to do with the current theme that we're working with garden. And I've just used those strips that I've shared with you, whether it's book pages tea stain bits that I've cut off, and there you go. This one goes in here. All right, so that's the first lot, and these are really handy when you are wanting to decorate, and I'll show you some examples of what we're going to do with that. All right, then the other side here, I've used those same strips, and I've used different stamps. All right, so here we've got a pile of different stamps that I have cut out with the scrappy bits of paper. All right, all sorts going on here. Now this particular kit is one that many people have, is this one. So field notes, Stampers Anonymous, Tim Holtz. I put mine in these little A5 plastic folders so that they easily, they keep nice and clean, etc. Well, I just wipe them with a baby wipe. And you can use these. Then this is a really good generic set to have, because I like to do a lot of botanicals and florals and things. It's got your little frames. It's got lots of botanical sort of bits in there. So this is one that I love to use. All right, so I just keep it in there and they all stay together. Another one that I like to use is this one, entomology, also to do with bugs and things. And then another one I like to use, and you've seen me, here's the paper here, I'll just use this one now, is the Creative Expressions one with all these little bits here. This is dates from the past. So that's that one over there. All right, it's also got a little holder to go into. All right, so there are lots of ones that you can get. I used to have a stamping magazine, and this came from there. I have no idea what it is, but I have used this one as well, or especially this flower. All right, so yeah, you've got lots of, I would invest in a couple. You don't need lots, and use them. You can also buy these secondhand on eBay Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace or eBay. You don't have to buy these all new. On the quote side of things, same thing, you know, my thoughts exactly, little bird told me, just little sentiments. These are all just random ones that I've had. All right, and then of course you need a block to stamp them with. Okay, so that's what I've done there. Now you can see I've got these little frames that come from there. There's another one that I've got two other staples that I use. The one is this one, which is also Tim Holtz one. It's called label frames. These are for bigger ones. I use these two a lot, but I also wanted some other ones so that were smaller, but also some circles. So this is the one I use, and I'll show you how I use that. But this is, and I think a lot of people use this one, darkroom door rubber stamps. This is called Lots of Labels. You can get this off eBay, that not eBay, Amazon. That's where I got it. It is on my Amazon favorite tools list. You get circles and smaller sized frames here. All right, so you can see, there you go. Okay, so what we are going to do is, I want to show you really quickly what I have done with my scraps, because it is the scraps that I use to make my labels, quotes, and things, whether it's paper scraps, and we'll get into other things as well. All right, so you want to gather all those strip bits like you do here, and I'm not going to bore you with how I made it. I've done it already so that I can just show you what you want to do with it once you have done that. And you want to glue these down. Now, whether you are going to use a misprint as a base, or you want to use a book page. I know Rachel's had a great idea before in one of her videos where she takes all the leftover scraps and sticks them onto book pages in colors or themes. That's a great idea. And I did do that with this one over here. All right, so you can see I've just stuck all my bits on here, and I'll show you a big example of that in a minute. Okay, so you just want to get your base piece, whatever that is, and start sticking these strips down. Now I can show you what I've done over here. All right, so it's a misprint that I've used, and I've just stuck all the strips down. I've taken even the book page strips, Right, I've stuck those down. I have taken some of the strips that are left over from making journal projects and ephemera. So I've stuck all of that's Rachel's one, they're mine, there's all sorts. It's all to do with this kit. All right, and then what I do is I go and take other bits that match. So here's some blue typed actual ephemera piece, and I just stick those randomly on there. So for example, just wherever I want them to go. So I think I've got it this way. And then it's just a case you can use, I used my glue stick to stick the strips down, but this was closest to me now, so I've just grabbed this one. And you can just put it wherever you want, all right? So you've got a whole thing going on like this. What I go and do then is, and I'm not going to do it again, I'm just going to show you so that we save time. I then take some of my stamps. So I've got this one over here, which is like a coffee stain circle. I've just used my vintage photo and I have stuck that down. Then I've got this postage seal. I've just put random bits there. And then with my, I've got like a little sentiment bit, which was in that entomology one. So this one here, and I just go and pressed it with this over here, fossilized amber, and I've just pressed it randomly all over. All right, so just go and put some franking things, some postage stuff, and that's what I've done there. You don't have to do the stamping on here. That's up to you. If you want to have it pretty plain, and I'll show you with this one, then you can keep it plain and add your stamps afterwards if that suits you. All right, so we're just going to have a little bit of fun here, just quickly, just to show you what I do. So I go and grab my, I'll grab this one, and we will take this out, and I'll take this one. I quite like that one. It's one of my faves. This is really handy. So this would be a great investment, this set here. And then you can either, let's take the blue. So I've got faded jeans. And I want my little block. Is this one going to be the right size? Yeah, that one will work. These are great. Get them in different sizes. Okay, so you've got that there. And now again, I put the ink on directly. As I said, it's just this distress oxide, nothing fancy. And then I just decide where I want it. So I want a little bit of everything. So I'm going to put it right there. And I'll just wiggle it a bit. And there you go. You've got a little frame. Okay, so I'm not going to do piles of them. I will say that if I'm going to do a lighter colour, I do use a baby wipe and I do wipe it off, and a tissue just to dry it. I do that, and here's a tissue just so that I can do a lighter colour or whatever. And those are just lying next to me. So for example, if I wanted to do fossilized amber now, and like that, I didn't want to go into the edge there. You can just wipe it off, and then we can go and get a little bit of that over there. So that's what I do. Now, there we go. Now, if you're wanting to put all the stamped bits, I'll use this one again. I just want to move that to the side. If you want to have all the bits stamped on, which I quite like actually, then you can go and you get a random bit of what goes where, and then you can just do that. So for example, over here. All right, like that. Okay, I'm not going to clean everything now. I'll do that at the end. Don't want you to have to watch me do all of that. Okay, so all that is required then is cutting them out. Okay, so here, for example, I just want to do one so I can show you. I just go around it with my scissors by hand. Now this one isn't as decorative with all the stamping and everything, you can add your stamps afterwards. Yeah. So here you can go and take your other set now. So for example, if you wanted, let's have a little think, say you wanted a bee. So here's the bee, and I'll just get my little one over here. Why is the bee stained? It's well used, the bees. I use the bees a lot. The birds and the bees and the butterflies, definitely. All right, so you've got that there. And you might want it, oops, over there. I think this one's needs a bit of a wash. Okay, so you've got your bee there, but you might also decide, okay, I actually want a bit of a number there as well. So this one's got loads of numbers, which is a great one. And I might want, let's go with that one there. All right, so you can put it on there. You don't have to. You might want to get a bit of contrasting color. Oh, that was a bit excessive. Let's just wipe that off a bit. Gotta love a tissue, don't you? Not so hard, Angela. Right. Leave that there. And you might want to put that just over there. Right. So you can add your stamping afterwards. Or like this one, it's got quite a lot going on already. And I'm not going to add anything because I've got quite a bit of stamping here already. So I'm quite happy with that. And I would take my time cutting these out, to be fair. But I'm just mindful of the time. All right, so a great way to use up your scraps. So have a look at that. All right, so I'm going to just put that over there again, as well as this. And we will get on to the next little bit. Now, as you can see, those are the two that we've just done now, and I've done loads of others. So different colors, some with stamping in them and some not, smaller, larger, and you can do the circles and whatever else you want to do. Now, I will show you how I go about using these at the end. All right, we'll do a quick little project. So I love these. These are really handy, and they're going to cost you very little to put together. It's really your scraps that you're utilizing. All right, the other thing is, and I've got loads here, you don't have to use plain paper to stamp on. If you actually have a look at the butterflies here, you'll see I've stamped them onto book pages. All right, plain book pages, and cut them out. Same with these book pages. And the same with these, and I love this flower, it's one of my faves. So you don't have to use it on plain paper. The book pages that we all have so many of, here's some more. I've done them on book pages. And then the sentiments, plain paper. Yeah, so we've got loads there. These were all plain paper scraps of different types. These are on book pages, and it's just normal book page like that. All right, so go and have fun with all of that stuff there. All right, so when you not only that, I wanted to tell you, but the other thing that you can use is, don't be limited by paper scraps. If you've got fabric, you can do the same. Now, I've used my fabric scraps from the fabric that I'm using for this particular garden story, and I will be putting out some other bundles that are slightly different from what I had. I've had so many people ask me, and they should be available by the end of this week, so look out for those. I will remind you. But what I've done here is I have stamped on a scrap piece of vintage linen here, all right, with a bee, and I've put it onto a scrappy bit of that fabric, and I've just sewn around it like that. Right, here's another one with a butterfly, and those are all from that Field Notes stamp set that I've just told you. I mean, how different is that from doing something? This is also from the field notes, so you've got them on those, and then of course you've got them on plain scrappy bits like this. All right, so you've got quite a few different looks that you can actually have with a set of stamps. Here's also, this is also from the field notes. I think all of these were. This is a little quote, a little bird told me. I've done that. I've got a little bee there. Another one of these, and this one says, if nothing ever changed, there'd be no butterflies. So these are all relevant to the sort of theme that I'm working on, so everything will match. All right, here's the sentiments, my sentiments that I've put together in the small size. I've cut them all out, and these are the bigger ones. All right, I tend to have all this stuff ready and around me in a tray, so when I'm working on this journal, I have all these bits around me. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? We're going to have a look at a couple of examples now. All right, so let's put those to the side there. And we've got all of our other stamps now. Last night I was watching Bella from Bella's Crafty Studio, and she was making book page pockets, and I wanted to have a go. And so I did. So I'm just using the book page pocket inspired by Bella last night. Thank you, Bella. I loved your video. And I put on a little fabric circle there that she'd done on one of her things. But here you can see I've decorated it up with bits from the goodies that I've stamped. So here's a book page flower. Here's one of the plain stamped goodies and one of the labels. Now, the labels, I've cut them on plain or on printed. It all depends on how you want to go about it. But here you've got a pocket now that's ready to go onto your journal page. You've got your little space there and there, but that's the kind of thing that you use these labels and quotes for. So I thought that we could have a little go right now. There was another one she made. It looked like this. I've added my lace on, and I want to just grab my glue. Here's my Bailey Art glue. And we are just going to have some fun here. So I have just taken one of those that I cut out from all the strips, and just want to give it a little bit of a distressing. I'm going to put that there. I have got this that I think I might stick here. This is from Rachel's Fussy Cuts. I'm going to use one of the plain stamped labels, one of the book page flowers, and then one of these little words that I stamped using the contact stamps. All right, so it's just a case of deciding how I want to do it, and I like to put them, mess about with them first before I go and stick them down, so because I might not end up putting that there, I don't know. So it's just a random collection, so you're making a bit of a collage really. I think that's what I want, something like that. Okay, so let's get this done. Again, this is a book page pocket that Bella made last night, and I love them, Bella. I hadn't seen those before, because contrary to what you might think, I don't get a lot of time to watch people's videos. So yeah, it's was interesting to see what others were doing, and because she was saying all the time, oh, I'm sure you girls have done this before. I hadn't, my dear. So you inspired me. Right, so we've done that. We're going to get this one stuck down. And as I say, a great way to use up those scraps. Right, we want to get that there. We want to get that there. I'm just getting it in my head. Right, so that's where it's going to go. We're going to get it there. Just like that. I love the scrappy look. I do. For me, it's a neat scrappy look, but I still like it. Right, you can stick your labels any which direction you fancy. So let's get this like this. There we go. That's an old bit of book page. Here's book page with text on it. Really nice if you've got some florals, butterflies, anything that you like. Let's get this a little bit over like that. And then this little garden word that I've put on will go just like this. And it doesn't matter that it's going to go over the spade or the shovel. There we go. So there's another one. Okay, so we've got 2. And then I think I had just a plain page, that pocket. Now, a great one to decorate would be all the pockets and things that you get in the kit. So often you'll get plain pockets like this. Here's some of Rachel's and some plain ones of mine, and then plainer tags, and these are all great to add this kind of thing to in your journal. All right, so I do have one of Rachel's pockets over here, and all we need to do is we need to just fold on the lines. Now you can score it, which I would normally. Oh, it's school holidays here, the kids are all making a lot of noise. Right, so we want to just I've got the duck egg blue on the edge here. I'm not using the vintage photo. All right, and then what I'm going to use is I've got one of the blue butterflies. I've got one of these little goodies. I've got a little sentiment this time, so we're going to integrate one of those. I'll just go a little bit on there, and then I've taken one of those circles. Now I love this one because it fits with my circle punch, so it wasn't difficult to cut out. So there we go, and I've got a little flower just in case. Right, so it's just a case of finding a way to arrange them. So we've got to go with this one first. Just finding my layers, and we want to just get that done like that. All right, so we'll put that one there. Okay, now I've got this little flower, and I'm never afraid of going off the edge of the page, and you know, you can do that. I just want to go and grab a piece of fabric quickly. All right, so I've just got this piece of fabric and I want to cut out that flower there. So I'm just using my scissors and going by hand here. You could cut this out with your die cut machine if you've got a circle, but it doesn't matter because my tummy's rumbling. I just wanted to get a little piece like that, and then grab a little button, and maybe that's not the right button. That's better. And then we can just sew the button on. So I'm just going to put that there, put that there, and it just gives a little bit of interest, you know, and you can do all sorts with your scraps, and I love working with my scraps. Okay, so all we want to do now is put on some Fabri-Tac here, and then we are done. And you can do this with all your pockets and get them all ready. Especially go and have a look at what Bella was doing yesterday with all the book pages. She did a lot more than what I've done, and I really was inspired by all of that. So I do encourage you to go and have a look. Right, so I've got that on there, because if you've got all the pockets ready to go, you know, then you can decide where you want to place them and work from there. So this I'm going to just add like that. Doesn't worry me that it's going to go off the edge. I quite like it. Okay guys, I hope that that's inspired you. I've got loads of labels for you to go and have a go at. Lots and lots and lots of them. I hope that you feel motivated to go and create all these for your journals, whether it's this theme or the next. And look how it all works so beautifully together, and it's going to look fantastic in your journals. All right, that's me for today. Look out for another video from me on Friday. I will be doing something else, and yeah, I encourage you to go and have a look at what Yvonne's doing and what everyone else is taking part. There's some lovely new channels and some very exciting, really established, and everybody's creative and everybody's sharing their talents with you, and I think it's just amazing. Keep you all busy. Well, spring's taking its time here, so we need to keep busy. All right, everyone, I'll see you. As I said, thank you so much for your support and kind words. I appreciate it, as we all do, and I'll see you Friday. Bye.